Good evening and namaste. This is Vimal Mahendru coming to you from Glasgow. Today is Saturday, November 6th, my 6th day here, and it is also my concluding day of this visit to COP26. It's been an amazing journey, and today I'll talk about my observations, what I have seen, the kind of message and dialogue that I have concluded over the last 6 days. I will share also what this might mean for IEC and the IEC community, and then some concluding observations about this whole visit. In terms of observations, there are 5 key points that come out over here, and these are not in any particular order. One, I'm amazed to see the power of the youth, the number of young folks present here, and the very strong, passionate dialogue that they are bringing to this whole COP movement. I also find that there is a consensus on the extent of pain that is already unleashed on our shared planet by climate change. I have heard several presentations made by folks from the Amazons and other indigenous folks who talk about really loss of life, livelihood, and any sense of identity. There is a lot that has already happened, which now we are beginning to recognize as the challenges of climate change. Another observation I have is, this time I am finding that the private sector is very deeply engaged here. From booth after booth where I was participating in some discussions or listening to the speakers, it was interesting to see that more than half the speakers were from the private sector or industry bodies, industry consortia, or from business associations. It is not that the political dialogue has become less important, but my observation is that while the politicians are taking care of the political side of the dialogue, there is a stronger sense amongst the industry and the business, the private sector, to get engaged and try and make a difference. Across the board, in the discussions, there are several things that are coming across as a common theme, whatever I'm hearing. Number one, I hear there is already a lot of innovation, and a lot of the innovations around climate change and ways to mitigate climate change. There was discussion and the people were talking about their innovations. There is also a very clear sense that a lot of these innovations need to be scaled up and scaled up urgently. There is urgent need also for collaboration amongst various stakeholders, and so the need for collaboration, need for scaling up, need for further innovation is coming up very clearly. There is of course a lot of need for funding, but the sense I'm getting here this time, listening to some of the funding agencies and some of the independent funding bodies also, it seems to me that there is enough funds available. The funding agency is looking for the right projects which will really help take care of climate change. I think that's what they're looking. The concluding message that I'm hearing here, across the board, everyone is very clearly saying science has the solutions. There is no debate around this thing, whether it's about science or regulations or politics or what else. Of course, everything plays its role, but the real answers to mitigating climate change, they are from science. And so I think this is once again bringing to me my mind the role IEC and IEC's work in standardization and conformity assessment becoming more and more relevant to the future. In conclusion, the kind of messages that I'm hearing from here, I see that the youth is important, and the youth is taking a very active role in the emerging world. There is also a greater sense of urgency amongst the private sector to do something, and the political leadership of the world is beginning to listen and understand the impact the private sector and the youth have on the emerging world. A major announcement that came from the Indian delegation here was Osowak, the One Sun, One World, One Grid announcement, which is about a global grid around the equator where the electricity can be produced based on solar PV in one part of the world, but transferred instantaneously to other parts which are in the dark. I think that's a very interesting, pioneering thought. I had a personal chat briefly with Dr. Ajay Mathur, the Secretary General of International Solar Alliance, which is the UN body leading this discussion. And he's quite excited about this concept. Of course, my selfish interest was also to talk to him about the role of standards, which obviously are an integral part of any kind of a global grid. Further, there is a lot of discussion around carbon, but also around carbon-based solutions. Now, while the world is talking about carbon and carbon-based solutions, there is also discussion about circular economy, circularity, eco-design principles being embedded into the work that is going on. And I think increasingly I will see that these kind of things will come into IEC standards more and more. One interesting aspect that came out, and perhaps it's a message for the conformity assessment folks here, I think carbon content measurement during a product or a service life cycle, I think there are still a lot of challenges around this, and I think the world is looking for some solutions. For example, if there is a product available in the market, in the process of producing and bringing it to the shelves during the life of its tenure, whatever, and then in its disposal, how much is the carbon footprint? If we can come up with a fair, equitable and consensus way of measuring this, this would be a great service to the community. I heard several people talking about the need for this kind of measurement. Now, trying to bring all of this home, what does this really mean for IEC, the IEC body of experts, the national committees, and generally the whole IEC community of stakeholders? And I think some key messages I am taking back with me are, I'm surprised here that there is so little dialogue around standards and standardization. Wherever I have been in a meeting, there is hardly any talk about standards. But the moment I bring it up in the Q&A or some other way, to say, yeah, of course, global standards can make a difference and we need global standards around this. But I think people are not able to connect immediately between the work they are doing, the results they want to achieve, and the role standards can play to quickly take a certain innovation to a global scale. Finally, the most heartening aspect of this whole process is that there is a special place for IEC and like IEC, ISO and ITU in this emerging world. The need for standardization, as I have felt here, I have never felt stronger. The positive impact we can have on global climate change and improving our world over the next 100 years, I think we have a special mandate with which we can fulfill. I think that to me is the most heartening message that I am taking back and I am sharing with you. Finally, I want to conclude this by saying that an event of this size, scale, scope and significance is not easy to pull off. Hats off to the UK government, the Glasgow city and its its leadership. They've done an amazing job. This is perhaps the biggest event to take place after the pandemic. So more than 10,000 delegates, a large number of heads of state, making sure they're all here. They are COVID protected, they are tested regularly every single day, and in spite of the pandemic, making sure that there is enough engagement and enough good dialogue taking place. It needs a lot of meticulous planning and effort, and I want to salute the planners and organizers and implementers who've actually done an a stellar job in bringing this to us. Further, on a personal note, I'm delighted that I get the opportunity this time here to meet some very amazing people, have some great conversations, but also build some lasting relationships. I met some amazing people from all over the world, but I want to specially mention the gentleman who was making coffee every morning here at one of the booths, and he was doing it with a smile, always engaging with everyone in great conversations. These are people who make a difference to our world. I think hats off to all of them. I also want to thank IEC for the opportunity that I am here. My company, Legrand, which gives me this wonderful platform to talk about and do things that I'm really passionate about. And my family back home, which is, of course, missing me because it was Diwali yesterday and I missed being with my family. But in spite of that, I think it's been a very wonderful engagement over here. Yeah. Take care, everyone. All the best. And I look forward to taking this dialogue further. This is just the beginning. I think we need to do a lot more.